Guys, how you doing? Hope you're good. So I wanted to drop in some live training this evening. You might be on the way home, you might be chilling out watching this, you might be on the train, whatever you are. So I hope that you can get some value from this. If you're coming through, please do drop a like, a comment, let me know what you think of the video. Do share it with some buddies. This really is just about raising self-awareness. My main purpose for doing this is really to bring this unconscious mind to light so that we're thinking a little bit more about ourselves. I want to talk to you about maybe some funnels where people go wrong and end up quitting through our Zero to Hero program, or just in general within a brotherhood, and the patterns that I noticed and the thought process that goes behind the patterns that lead to people quitting, falling off the bandwagon, no matter what we sort of end up doing, because everything is dictated by our state of mind and how we think and how we process things and how we act emotionally and how those emotions distract us from where we want to be. So without further ado, I'm going to go into this. I can't see any comments that are made right now because I've had to flip my phone around so that you can see the board the right way. So I will get back to any comments that were made, as long as they're not naughty ones. But we are going to crack onto this now. So this is you at the top, okay? And this is usually somebody that starts on our Zero to Hero program, for example, or a 90-day program, or just joins us in the brotherhood. And at the very start, we're very, very excited. And what I see is the adrenaline and the emotion all rising and bubbling like a volcano. So everybody's ready to change. And everyone gets excited because we've gone from that rut to that we're doing something about our health, our life. We're trying to level up, we're trying to change. And that is a big step. It shows a lot of courage to come out of the rut and then go into something that's going to benefit them. There's going to be a lot of hardship and changes ahead. And for the first 2 to 3 weeks, we see massive results, we see massive energy. But then what we start seeing is a reduction in that energy. And then what starts happening is real life starts creeping in. And real life is something that we must manage and we must control. But that's for another training session. I'm going to take you down a couple of emotional funnels that lead to quitting, and then an emotional funnel that might see someone who's going to be successful through a course. All right, so this is kind of like where we are. This usually comes into week 3 or 4 usually. That's the pattern I've tended to find over the last couple of years with people on programs or on structure or trying to improve themselves. So let's go down to this funnel here. So one of the key emotional sort of emotions that we have is self-belief, and it's a low self-belief. It's that self-belief that they can get themselves out of the black hole, out of the rut, that they can change the way that you are living your life, and you don't believe that you're good enough to change. You don't believe you deserve to change, and you don't believe you can change, and that becomes that fight. So after the 2-3 weeks of adrenaline, of the emotions, of the we can do this, we then have the self-belief creeping into our mind. I can't keep this going. I can't keep doing this. It's really difficult. It's really hard. And you only know failure. It kind of leads to it. So like you might have been on a really dark path, okay, that will have led you to just constantly doing the same thing, yo-yoing. We're on it, we're off it. We're on it, we're off it. And that's all you know. And that's what it leads to. And because you've been yo-yoing, you haven't built up any self-belief because it hasn't worked in the past. You kind of just accept failure and you fall off. And we fall into this bubble of self-pity, and we start pitying ourselves a little bit. Oh, I just can't do it. It's just too much. We're not really attacking the origin of what the problem is. And because you don't believe you can change, because you suddenly start not believing in yourself, what happens is all of that energy you had in the first few weeks starts draining, starts disappearing, and we start sort of falling and flattening out, and the routine slows down, the structure slows down, the workouts stop, the excuses come back in, and the chimp's slowly taking over you. It's like that film Venom with Tom Hardy. That venom just eats you up and instills it into you, and it drains all of your energy again. It wants you to be miserable and go back to that self-pity. And then what ends up happening is that we end up quitting. And that is a simple pattern that I've recognised. Okay, having spoken to a lot of guys, I'm like, what's going on? Where are we going? And this is pretty much the result of that. You might be able to resonate with that. You might be able to relate to that. The next one is distractions. Okay, so we're on our program. We've made a real conscious effort to it. We've invested in ourselves. You've invested in me to help you, and like we're giving you everything that you need to get going and the support there. But you're just getting distracted. There's external factors. Okay, and external factors tend to be like work, okay, family, negative situations that have happened, things that where they've tried to bring you back down, and whatever has happened, it's disrupted your path. So it's not suddenly just this 2 to 3 weeks where you're on top of it, this perfect path that you think we're sort of trying to go on, something's disrupted it. You've been knocked off the path, and you've allowed that to consume you, and you've allowed that to consume your mindset and the actions that you're taking. You've become emotional, and then suddenly you get the wrong priorities. So what I get an awful lot of is, I just can't do this and work. Work's too much. That's the biggest one. Work is just too much. My head is just not right in the right place at the minute. The relationship's not just going quite well. So-and-so's happened. So-and-so's happened. And what I mean by priorities is that you've invested in yourself to come and work with me, my team, the other guys in the group, the ambassadors. You've made a commitment to yourself to take that leap on board to improve this. Okay, because life is always going to throw a kitchen sink at us. That will never change, whether you're on a program with me, whether you're not on a program with me, whether you're just like living your life. We're always going to be getting punched in the face. Boom, boom, boom. We're always going to be facing these problems. That will never change. But if you're on a program, what I try to do is kind of say, okay, this has happened. We adapt to it, we overcome it, but we don't let it dominate us. But it does for a lot of people. And the biggest thing that we do, and I see, is that we lose the focus. So when I'm following up and I'm texting, I'm saying, what's going on, how are we going? He goes, I just lost it completely. Work is just too much. Task is too much. There's too much going on at home. There's too much going on here. That will never stop till the day you die. And what ends up happening, we end up losing people. They end up quitting and going back to that life. Okay? Then let's look at somebody who is successful in a course. Okay, so I'd like to think that most people have some form of purpose when they come on board. It's like, what is the purpose for you investing in yourself? What's the purpose of you joining this? What's the purpose of you coming to me to ask for help, to work with me and the team? And we need to have that clear purpose. Sometimes this happens when we don't have a strong enough purpose. So somebody that comes in that really needs it and is ready to take that next step, I tend to see them taking it to the next level. And that's almost their ammunition. That's almost their drive. That then leads to meaning. There's meaning behind every action that you do. Without meaning, we don't understand the process. We hold back on the process. When we have purpose and meaning, we're willing to change. There's a willingness to change the habits. There's a willingness to fight the distractions. Okay, there's a willingness to overcome the self-doubt, the self-belief. Okay, there's a willingness to not quit, to not lose focus, to keep fighting, to have that battle mind mentality. Okay, and you become relentless and you win. 1% each day for 24/7, 365. You get 1% better. Okay, we don't have to achieve everything within the program. When I bring someone into my program for 6 weeks, I don't expect you to go away with a 6-week program. Life is perfect, swinging your fucking cock around, thinking you're the bollocks. Okay, what I expect you to do is understand yourself more. You understand your emotional connection, your emotional habits, your health, your fitness, your awareness for your fitness and yourself. So we have to have the right attitude when we come in. We're always going to be fighting funnels like this. But we must look at purpose, meaning, willingness to change, relentless, and you'll win. Okay, if you like this type of stuff, you might be interested in our 5-day Fire It Up Challenge, which starts Monday. 5 tasks, 5 coaching sessions, taking you hopefully to the next level and learning a little bit something about yourself. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.